Hi there, and welcome to a very unique episode in which we're going to take a look at my abilities to steal like an artist. we're gonna we're gonna take a look at kind of a little bit of backstory of the two of my books, Set It and Forget It, as well as This Is Natto. We'll see where the inspiration and ideas came from. So this is more of a behind the scenes type episode. If you're looking for education when it comes to insomnia and the inner journey, there'll be a little bit of that as well in the end, but mostly this will be about these books and an upcoming book as well that I'm extremely excited about, which I'll share with you why in a second. But about 2 years ago, I was in this mindset of I'm going to write this book. And when you're in this kind of creative mode, of course you're like a sponge. You're looking at things to give you inspiration. Maybe you're not actively, but things kind of start come to you in that way. And at the same time, I was writing the manuscripts, or starting to think about writing a book, which later became Set It and Forget It. I was also learning about like business and like entrepreneurship, because that's also part of my journey, like trying to become someone who can live off of these things, right? So I was reading this book called Brave New Work by Aaron Dignan, and I found it really. I felt the book was excellent. I actually tweeted at him, and he actually liked my tweet, which was amazing. I thought it was really fun. But anyway, I liked the clean design, and I liked this message: "Are you ready to reinvent your organization?" And founder of the Ready, all looks pretty nice. And I was like, I think I can use this for Set It and Forget It. And for comparison, here they are. You can see, right? Both are both have the black and white thing going on, and instead of the little notepad thingy here, here it says, "Are you ready to transform your sleep?" and founder of the Sleep Coach School. So this is where the inspiration came from, the Set It and Forget It cover. However, when it comes to the inside of the book, totally different. That inspiration from that came from a different source. And it was another book, also in the same within the same space, like business and entrepreneurship and organization, which is Rework, which is really a cool book. I love both these books, but maybe this one even more than Brave New Work. Really nice book, and partly so because of how it's the layout. Look at this. Every chapter starts with this like nice like illustration like this, and it's breezy. It's like that was it. That was the whole chapter, and that was another chapter. Like it was such an easy read, and so it just flowed so nicely. So I was like, that's it. Like that's how I want Set It and Forget It to become. And those of you who read it know that it became very similar, like an illustration and then like a brief chapter, and very airy, if you will, an easy read, which I felt like especially when you have trouble sleeping, you need something that's a little lighter and easier. That's how I felt at the time. So that became Set It and Forget It. That's the story of Set It and Forget It. And now on to This Is Natto. And this was like a year later, and I had an idea that, okay, now I'm gonna write this other book where I go like in a little more depth and like present this idea for a philosophy or a school of thought or whatever that I'm calling Natto. And at that point in time, I was looking at it. But I don't think I ever actually read this whole book. My wife loves it, and she recommended it to me. And This Is Marketing by Seth Godin, and this is where my stealing came in. Like, look at that. I almost feel embarrassed when I see this. It's so similar, right? But what can you do? Like this, I thought this was there it is, such an amazing cover. And I did not put my own picture in this O here, so at least I didn't do that. But Seth Godin, I think, hope you don't mind if you ever see this. And I think it's an amazing book and amazing cover. So that's where that came from, which leads us to Tales of Courage, which some of you have heard me talk about this. I'm really excited about it. It's basically a book where I've taken 26 really powerful success stories from the channel here, and I've taken the transcript, the conversation, and just sort of cleaned it up, like edited it, and it becomes really powerful. And we're going to look a little bit at that. But before we look within the book, I want to share the inspiration from the cover. So my idea was to go back to the black and white from Set It and Forget It, because I think this will be like a really nice companion to Set It and Forget It. But I'd seen, again, my wife reading this book that I thought had a cool cover, and it's this one. The one thing, you see, it has the black and white thing going, and I like this shape here. So what I'm thinking for Tales of Courage is that it's going to be like in the biggest font here, like Tales of Courage, but in some kind of rectangular shape, but like Tales of Courage. And there's going to be 26 first-hand accounts of how insomnia ends. And then it's going to be like from Daniel Erickson, author of This is Natto and Set and Forget It. And Natto is going to be in like orange. It's going to be a little pop of color. That's my idea for the cover of Tales of Courage. Speaking of Tales of Courage, I just approved the manuscript today, and I'm gonna ask somebody to help me with the cover starting now. So it'll probably be, I think this book's gonna be done pretty soon. But I want to share a little bit of what it looks like on the inside. So it has 26 chapters. Actually, it has probably, well, there are 26 stories anyway. And this is chapter 6, which is Sasha Stevens. So when she gets to the channel, I just want to show you a quote from her that will serve as today's teaching for us. And so yeah, each chapter starts like this, Sasha's story, and then there's a quote from within the interview. And I picked this from Sasha Stevens. It's the idea that there are certain thoughts, feelings, states that aren't okay, and that they have to be treated, avoided, medicated, run away from, relaxed out of, relaxed into. They're not okay. And that is the source of all the suffering on this planet. She said that. Isn't that powerful? Like, I have nothing to add. Like, and this is kind of like what the book is about. Like when you hear these, when you hear this spoken word, but on black and white, is very powerful because you feel how authentic it is. And by the way, what I want to say here was really that I can't express it any more clearly than Sasha Stevens. I truly believe that there are these, when there are experiences in our lives that we aren't okay with, that we just want to run away from, get away from, avoid, that's when we struggle, because we don't have control over these things. And the more we try to avoid them, the more we try to suppress them, the stronger they come back at us. So I thought that was an amazing, amazing thing Sasha Stevens said, among many other things she said. And so, yeah, super excited about this next project. And I just want to thank you for being here and being willing to hear a little bit about the backstory of the books, etc. So I will just pause there, and it'll be out soon. I'll announce it, of course. And as always, thanks so much for all the comments, all the support, and hope to have you back real soon. Until then.